Hi, Sushil here. So I just wanted to know, like, when should we decide to exit in general? Let's say, because I have Facebook stock and
Hmm.
it's already all-time high, right? But people are saying that you can wait because it will go more than what is now. So, like, how should we decide, like, whether should we wait or should we sell, like, for big stocks?
So it all depends on individual. I would say that how much profit you are expecting from a stock. Let's say you bought, I'm just saying hypothetically, or maybe if you can mention at what price you bought.
I
And
bought 170.
yeah, so if you bought at 170 and currently it is at close to 300.
Yeah,
So it's very close that if you hold for some more time, you could sell at 340, which would be like 100% return.
yeah,
So if you have a stock which has rallied this way, which has grown up, it's a good thing for you. And now it's up to you at how much profit you want to exit.
okay,
Even if you exit on Monday, you will be at profit. It's up to your target of how much target return you expected out of it. And if it has reached, you can exit. And when it goes slightly low, you can buy it again. Or if
okay,
you think that since it has reached 100% profit level very fast, it would be worth to wait for some more time so that it grows even further. You
mhm,
could wait, but there is a risk that if it goes down, you might lose on that profit.
yeah,
I personally follow that whenever I buy a stock, I decide what is the return I'm expecting from it, and I set a sell limit. Or if I see that the stock has started going down, I set a stop loss limit. So based on the stock trend, if it is going up, you set a sell limit by analyzing at what target level you can sell it. And also from the technical analysis, you could set the stop loss limit. And this is what Vivek sir has been saying in his previous sessions as well. It would be good if Vivek sir, if you would like to add your view on this.
No, I mean, what you said, you already covered it up. I mean, if you look at it this way, in this Bollinger Band across which Kamal has just shown you on the screen, the price is below the mid Bollinger Band and is reaching the lower Bollinger Band. And at the same time, your Williams R has just come down and reversed up, whereas the RSI is still at 60. So there is strength left in it because the RSI is still strong enough, right? But because it is below the lower Bollinger Band, I would look at a correction which could take place. I mean, minute it goes crosses the mid Bollinger Band, I would again see strength coming into it. And secondly, if you look very carefully, the volumes have suddenly disappeared. You look at the green and red candles coming up, they've suddenly dipped. That's number one. Kamal, can you take it to a Renko chart instead of a Hekenashi? See if you can see a change there. The Hekenashi has given you a first green candle. Now, if you look at the Renko chart, Renko is still showing green. And I would not sell Renko even, I will still continue holding it because it has still not shown me a red candle.
Yes.
So in the Hekenashi, it showed you a dip and bringing it down to the mid Bollinger Band. But Renko has not. Now Renko is a chart which I would use if I were looking at a share that I'm holding for a period of, I'm looking at 6 months, 9 months or 1 year. Then I would follow Renko. But Hekenashi has just, take it back to Hekenashi. The idea is to explain to you how both the charts work differently. Keep it at Hegenashi and let's discuss the chart as it comes. You will see the chart moving on a 1 minute time frame, on a 5 minute time frame, and a half an hour time frame. Now this is
Right.
on a day chart. Now on a day chart, Facebook is showing you upper Bollinger Band, not able to cross 300 very, very clearly.
Yes.
The upper limit in the last tops, the last three tops is about 300 plus.
Yes.
303.71, 303.71, and the next chart to it, next handle to it, previous handle to it,
Right.
left to your left.
So 304 and 30.
That's also 304.
Yeah.
304.67, and it has again come back. But it is touching the upper Bollinger Band, and now you look at Williams R taking a dip down. It's just curved down. So has RSI. So I would expect, if you ask me, on a day chart, I would be waiting to liquidate and take my profits home at this point.
yes.
So anything around 300, I would get out of, at least partial book my profits. As we say in the stock market, take your profits home from the table, so that, or you reduce your, or what I would tell you is liquidate enough to take your principal out. So what is left is going to be free stocks,
Okay.
right? I mean, so I would say liquidate. If you're having 100 shares or you're having 50 shares, liquidate to take away your principal amount.
Yeah.
Once your principal is secured, even if you lose the balance, if it becomes zero, it will not affect you,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So then that is your pure profit, your pure ice cream, your pure cheese, whatever, pure wine, whatever you want to enjoy. That's your pure poison.
Yeah.
So you secure your principal amount and then play with the balance as to whatever your appetite is.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. This is
Because
something.
currently it is at its peak. Now, if you look at the previous peaks also, you go back to the the chart, the red candle, or you're changing your frame.
Yeah, I was
Fine.
seeing if there was.
Just leave this here. Now this red candle here before the start of the rally, it is touching the lower Bollinger Band for 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
Yes.
4, 5 days it touched the lower Bollinger Band. And each time it was touching, look at the way Williams R is falling from -40 to -80. And RSI fell from 60 to almost over 25. So minute the RSI has curved upwards, at the same time Williams R also is curving upwards, and at the same time the price has moved up to a green and moving away from the lower Bollinger Band. Now if you want to be a very orthodox and a secured trader, I would have waited for the candle to turn, first candle, red candles turn green at about 160.
Okay.
Right? So I would be a buyer at about 165.
Mhm.
Right? Now from 165, where have you gone to? You almost doubled it?
I bought it for 170 and now it's like
So if you bought it at 170, 340 would be a doubling point.
yeah.
Now at 170 and 300, the difference is almost about 130.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? 170 and 300.
Yeah, it's 130.
130. So what profit margin have you already made? And what was the date of purchase?
I guess it was in
Around this time. No, it
April,
is,
May something. April end, I guess.
April end.
Yeah.
That means May, June, July, and August, 4 months.
Yeah.
So $130 on 170 investment. I don't think you should take your money and say thank you. Don't even look at Facebook. Don't even wait for it to correct. Take your money and get out.
Okay.
I would do that.
Okay.
I mean, in about 4 months, you got almost about 80% returns.
Yeah.
I don't think I should be asking for any more.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's what like in starting of meeting I said like I don't know like I just invested my money and I stopped but I don't know when to exit or how to grow the trader.
There are two strategies of growing as a trader or as an investor.
Yeah.
One is you decide I am looking for about 20% profit from a trade.
Mm-hmm.
So minute I get my 15% or 20%, whatever I've pre-decided before entering the trade,
Mm-hmm.
once I get that profit, I will not look at the script. I will take my profit and I'll walk out.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The idea is to leave something on the table for somebody else as a bait to buy it from you.
Okay.
Clear? Now at 300, it being at its peak, a lot of retail investors will enter in now.
Mm-hmm.
But a professional trader will exit at 300.
Okay.
Because what happens is when the retailers enter in, they will enter in without giving it a thought.
Mm-hmm.
A novice trader will enter in at 300.
Yeah.
And then he will crib and cry, I've lost money. Because he entered at the peak of the market. Whereas a professional trader will exit at 300 and buy it again at 240
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
or 240 or at 220. He would be a ready buyer waiting for you. You would be a ready buyer waiting. 220, 225, 205, because the last low of the red candle is at about 205, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing a graphical, Kamal,
Yeah.
that's the one. 207, 228. I'm doing a graphical approximation. So 28 or 210, I would be a very strong buyer. Because after the major big candle dips, it still could not go below 210 or 227. So 210 or 27, I would be a very strong buyer with a very strong support, with a stop loss at 200. So I would sell now, wait for it to dip, buy it at 210 with a stop loss of 210 of 200.
200.
So with a $10 stop loss, I expect a $100 jump or a $90 jump. But I am now basing this on basically pure charts. But if I look at Williams R, if I look at RSI, they both have now turned and dipped. Now, Williams R is an advanced indicator. It tells you in advance what is happening. At this scenario, a lot of people have already bought. You are in an overbought position. Now people will start selling it and bringing the price down. So Williams R at minus 24 has turned down, is on an overbought position. RSI at 80 is an overbought position. It has curved back downwards. When it curves back downwards, it will go all the way down to about 30. RSI will go to 30. Williams R will come to about minus 80, minus 90. So that is the gap you will be finding, that you have taken your profits home, invested in some other company, made money there, and then are you ready when Facebook comes at about 210, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
That would be my strategy.
Sure. Yeah, it was like
When
this.
you
Yeah.
see big candles, green candles, that is when the retailers have walked in. Novice traders have walked in.
Yeah.
Vivek sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, Gaurav.
would you like to little bit talk about the Air Canada stocks, or
Sure.
I'm
Air
following that
Canada,
stock from a while.
Air Canada, I had given it to my son on the night of 3rd of August. And it did not come to my buying levels. I had put it on group also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, on
Air Canada,
$15.
yes, I had given up a $15 buy. I had $15 buy, but it did not come to that $15 buy after 3rd August.
So on 4th August, it had reached.
Yes, and 4th August, it reached where?
It touched $15.
1503.
Yeah.
1503. So that was my buy over there.
Mm-hmm.
And where is it touched now? 1718. So I'm talking about a $3. So about 1/5, 20% return already on this stock. With all the dips seen in the red candle also.
Yeah.
Now look at Air Canada just now. Now, if you look at Air Canada, now if I have to analyze today's status of Air Canada, it's in a very strong squeeze of the Bollinger Bands right from 21st of July.
Uh-huh.
It's a very strong squeeze because the Bollinger Band is moving in a small, narrow range.
Yes.
A range of about 18 to about $15.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And currently it is at the upper Bollinger Band.
Yes.
Where is your Williams R? Williams R is at minus 18.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of strength for it to go up to minus 10 or minus 5, and then it will fall back again. whereas RSI is already at 60. Now, very carefully watch this. This could also be a turning point. In case if this Bollinger, the price breaks out of the Bollinger Band, it could be a spike to straight a level of 23. This upper Bollinger Band, this list.
Okay.
It could go up if it crosses 1850.
Uh-huh.
2350 is a definite.
Okay.
2350 or 2350 or 23 would be a definite account.
So what would you suggest? Like, should we buy at
I
this
would,
point?
if it crosses 1850,
Uh-huh.
I would buy it immediately
Okay.
with a very strong stop of 1800 of $18. I'm playing with only 50 cents or half a dollar stock loss, and I'm hitting for a target of 22 or 2350.
Okay.
So that
as
means
long,
I am at 1850. I'm looking for a target of about $4 or about $3.5 to $4,
right.
and in a very short span.
Okay.
The why I'm
Okay.
saying short span again now. Look at the volume bar.
Mm-hmm.
The last 5 candles, 4 have been big green volumes. At least 3 have been very big, and other than the normal average volume so far, which is down. So there is fresh buying which has come into Air Canada.
Okay.
Now, time this fresh buying with the exhaustion of COVID exercise. People are actually exhausted. They now want to travel. They now want to move. They now want to move on with life. So
Right.
travel will now start opening up much more. So if travel has to open up, the airline has to benefit. I don't think people from Toronto would travel to Vancouver by road or by train. They would always take a flight,
Yeah.
right? So
For sure.
Air Canada will open up. And if that happens up, 2350 or 2350 is the first target. The higher target is much more.
Yeah.
The higher
Okay.
target will be almost about 48. If you're a long-term investor,
Uh-huh.
and you have funds free, buy about 1,000 scripts, sell enough to take your money out in the first lot, profit,
Uh-huh.
and then carry the balance to a target of 52.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
That is the way I would look at. That is what I had told him. I'm trying to find out what I had given to my son. I think I've shared that even on the group. I've given all the targets also on the group.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just check it out. Have I given it or not?
Yeah, you had shared 2 weeks back.
I had shared the targets.
Oh, I think we recently joined the group, so we missed that.
I'm talking about the second group.
Yeah, so I'll
I think I shared it.
yeah, maybe I'll repost that stocks which you had shared 2 weeks back.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, and this is what I told him on the beginning of August 4th, before the trading started.
Uh-huh.
I had given him about 4 or 5 scripts to trade, and this was one of it.
Okay.
Along with Air Canada, you could also look for CHR. Its business also depends on Air Canada. It's cheaper than Air Canada, but the trend it follows similar to Air Canada. So
Okay.
when Air Canada moves up, CHR moves.
This will also move up. Yes.
Yeah.
Price is also at almost about 1/6 the price. So
yeah, you can buy more.
You can buy much
true.
more. Same thing. You look at the same fall of Air Canada. Look at the same way. This is also CHR also is being accumulated at this lower end.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's working in a small narrow range, about 235 to about 276 or 280.
Yes, true.
And each time it is going up, the green candle is touching up. The RSI and Williams are also touching up.
Mm-hmm. So as long as like Air Canada stocks crosses 1850, like I
would buy it.
Yeah,
but 1850 close is at the day end. I'm not talking
Okay.
about midday. I'm
Okay.
not talking about during the trading hours.
Okay.
But if you realize that it is 1850 and still going strong, it goes 1860, 1870,
Uh-huh.
I could buy that even at 1870 with a stop of 1850 or 1825.
Okay.
That's your judgment, internal judgment, which you decide on.
Okay. And on the same time, we should buy for the CHR too.
Yes, I mean, because the trend is immediately when the economy opens up, people start traveling, the airlines will tend to benefit.
Right.
And when the airlines will get the seats filled in to a capacity, that is when they make profit, and that is when that is what is reflected in the price movement of the stock.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So if it goes down in case of instead of going up, since uh, it has already touched the upper Bollinger Band. If it takes the
1530,
downtrend, then you could have buy around $15, 15.35.
1530, 1525, you
Yeah.
could buy around there with a very
Okay.
strong stop of about 1480.
Okay.
You give a 50 cent, 50, half a dollar, or yes, or the final strength is 13.
Mm-hmm.
Final support is a 13. Yes.
Okay.
I just want to add one more thing here. Yeah, Vivek and Kamal, you have been explaining this very brightly. One thing that we need to focus at in addition is the volume on the next trading
Yes, of
day.
course.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if you see the volume in 2 preceding days, volumes are higher than the normal previous averages. So one other indication whether you should be entering in this stock or not is to see the volume. The volume should be around 8 million, which is like currently for the last 2 sessions. So if
Mm-hmm.
you see these volumes are like high and they can reach these 8 million or like break 8 billion, you may consider entering in the trade. But if the volumes are less, if you see like in the third last session, the volumes were like relatively low and they were like at an average of previous like 2-3 months. So
Yeah.
if the volume seems to be at those levels, so it may indicate that it will start falling down again to its previous levels of like 15 and 16. So it is
Okay.
another indication as well. And
Okay.
volumes, never ignore the volumes. Most of like the traders, they tend to like focus on the price movement. Volume
Mm-hmm.
movement is, I would say, more important than the price movement. So
Okay.
keep an eye on that.
Very true, Tahir. Very true.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see this like for the last 2 days, the volumes are high.
Yes.
That's why people are interested. They are responding to the news and it's going up. If the volumes like fall down the next trading session, you will
Mm-hmm.
see a downward trend from there.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's another thing here. Sorry, Kamal. There is another thing here to look at the candlestick pattern, how the candlestick pattern is formed. I will be explaining it, the candlestick patterns today. So I will touch upon the implication of that candlestick pattern for the AC on the next trading session on a 1 hour chart or 2 hour chart basis. So stay tuned and see what we have to discuss on the candlestick pattern, particularly with respect to AC.
Okay. Perfect.
yeah, Tahir, if you would like to take on from here and continue
Yeah.
with AC discussion, we can
Actually,
do that
Tahir
as
can
well.
take it up the candlesticks just now only on this.
Sorry?
Tahir can take the candlesticks on AC just now only, no?
Yeah, that is what I am also
Yeah.
suggesting.
It will be in continuation to what we are already discussing.
Yeah, that is what
Okay.
I'm also
So
suggesting.
for the candlestick pattern, actually, I have to discuss some background and it will take some time
Yes.
before I jump back to AC. So I would say like, if you can continue your discussion and then I will just jump in with the candlestick pattern analysis, some background information, and then I will come back to a few of the stocks. I can pick AC and then we will take it from there.
I agree, Tahir. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So you can continue with whatever topic you were discussing. And then once you are done, then I will start with the background information of the candlestick patterns and then I will correlate it with AC.
Lovely.
Yeah, that would be great. So Gaurav, do you have any other questions for either for AC or CHR? We can cover that and then
Not so far. I'm good now.
cool. So anyone else want to discuss any other stock?
Hi, this is Dipendra here. I just wanted to know actually about some of the cyber security stocks. I'm actually following BlackBerry and I have some positions. very old positions from last 2 years. So I wanted to understand actually how you deal with the current scenario. Thank you.
Yeah, we have been discussing about BlackBerry in a couple of our previous sessions as well. It has started taking up trend. It was the consolidating for quite some time in a couple of weeks. And if you are holding from long term and planning to hold for long term, it's really good stock to hold. You could easily see it giving return around 60 is what we had discussed for very long term. Let me show you on a larger screen.
My position at the BlackBerry is around $6. It's
Mhm.
from last year, basically.
Yeah, so if you are holding for long term, we had discussed that you could expect a target for in the long term around $60, and if you are holding for short term, you could easily expect it to touch I think $14 if
Okay.
yeah. So
But
if
overall situation about the cyber security softwares, like because now we have a really large number of companies in there. So I wanted to know if the market is going up, is there anything else we can invest in? Like there is a CrowdStrike and there are a bunch of companies, Cloudflare and all.
so you would like to understand about the competitors same in sector.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Vivek sir, would you like to comment anything on that?
Can you name a company in the similar competition in the same cybersecurity account? Any company
Yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir. So basically, I was looking at BlackBerry, CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, and then Synopsys Security.
Just a second. So let's see CrowdStrike and let's see Cloudflare first.
Yes, sir.
So what's ticker?
So it's a CRWD,
Right?
the ticker at the NASDAQ. Yeah.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Is
It
this
has
the
been
one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
118.
Yes, sir.
And are you holding a position here?
Yes, sir. My position is not actually a recent one, but I bought it actually when it was in the news. But my position is for a very small amount, not large volume.
Irrespective, what
So
price?
what's your price?
My price was $78.
78. That means you must have bought it around June.
Yes, sir.
Around this time. Yeah. May, June.
No, June. After the red candle.
Yes.
Right? Now at 78, you already at 119.
Yes, sir.
So how much profit do you want to take home?
Sir, I was actually thinking about some long-term decisions regarding this because I have very small volume. It's less than 50 shares because I.
All right.
I didn't have.
The volume of share is not important.
Yes, sir.
The volume of share in my style of trading, at least that is what I look at it. I don't look at the volume at all. What I'm holding, I will never look at the what volume I'm holding or the quantity of shares I'm holding. I will always look at the value that I have invested and what value I can take back. If I've invested 50 shares at 80,
yes,
I'm currently at 120. I'm already getting a 50% profit return.
Yes, sir.
In the month of June, July, August, 3 months.
Yes, sir.
I mean, within 3 months, if I'm already getting 50%, I'm taking about 17% per month. Right? Now,
Yes,
I
sir.
could always do one thing. I could get rid of 25 shares or 28 shares to recover my principal amount and a marginal interest cost of it. Whatever you deem it fit. And hold the balance as a surplus, almost free stock. That gets added to your portfolio, which you can encash whenever you require the money.
Understand. Okay. Yeah.
Clear? That is one way of looking at how to create wealth for yourself.
Understand.
One way is that you can take your money, take 50% profit, 50% returns on your money, come into cash and reinvest at about 100. Whenever the price comes down to 100, you reinvest at about 100 or at about 97. That would be the last previous dip it had taken.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So I would either do that, or that means I am cashed out and I am re-entering that counter or re-entering the share at a lower price after it corrects. Or I take my principal amount away, so that what is left in the stock market or what is left in the share is what I actually is free for me.
Okay.
That is my pure profit.
Okay.
But now in CrowdStrike, just now, if you look at the position, now look at this. Very comfortably, Kamal has converted this to Renko. Now Renko has still not given me a sell idea.
Okay. Okay.
And it has crossed almost above the previous highs.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
sir.
the volumes are pretty low.
Yes.
As Tahir was telling you, volumes are pretty low.
Yes. Sir.
But Kamal, in Renko, you cannot look at volume. So you please go back to either Heikin Ashi or regular candlesticks. Go back to either regular candlesticks or Heikin Ashi.
Yeah, I've moved to Heikin Ashi.
Or go back to regular candlesticks also. That will give you an idea whether any dojis have formed. See this. This Tahir will tell you during the next session. But the last two candles which you see.
Yes, sir.
Right, Deepen? The last
Yes,
two
sir.
candles, the volumes are low. The
Yes, sir.
candle is hardly moving.
Yes,
Tahir
sir.
will explain this to you when he talks about it in the next session, how these candlesticks are actually analyzed.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
But if you ask me personally, I think a reversal is around the corner.
Yeah.
Because of these two candles, which are on the candlestick, which was not showing on the Heikin Ashi and not showing on the Renko also.
Okay. Understand.
Tahir, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a dodgy candle.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Kamal, now shift this to Heikin Ashi. Now you can actually analyze all the three candlesticks at the same time. You get the idea?
Yes.
Still showing green,
Yeah.
touching the upper Bollinger Band, and my Williams is at almost -10.
Yeah.
-9. RSI is at almost 70. It's in an overbought position. A correction can happen anytime.
Okay.
Right? Now, I could also play it differently. Now, if I'm an aggressive player, I will play with the low of the previous candle as my stop loss.
Yes.
So, second last candle, low of that day. Second last candle, Kamal, second last candle.
Second last, okay.
Low of that day is 113.78. So, at 114, I would keep my stop. At 114, I'll get out. Because that means the correction is about to happen. A correction, if it breaks 114, my correction has started off. So though it's a loss of $4, but I have secured my profit to that much of an extent.
Okay, sir. Yes. Understand.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
I hope I have confused you well enough.
No, that was really good explanation. Thank you, sir.
No,